Hello, man of word, we truly appreciate that you joined us. We are glad that we can support you in your further development. Today's topic is about 4 lessons that everyone should learn from the book Awaken the Giant Within, written by Tony Robbins. So, let's begin. Welcome to amanofword.com, the most refreshing network in the business world. Why should you pay close attention to this? 1. You will learn why you do what you do. 2. You will learn what is an emotional threshold. And 3. You will learn how to use pain and pleasure to change your behavior. So, let's dive in. Lesson 1, Pain and Pleasure. In this book is written that, what makes a person with a good background behave so savagely and without remorse while another gives his own life to rescue complete strangers? What creates a hero, a heel, a criminal, a contributor? What determines the difference in human actions? Throughout my life, I have passionately sought the answer to these questions. One thing is clear to me, human beings are not random creatures. Everything we do for a reason. We may not be aware of the reason consciously, but there is undoubtedly a single driving force behind all human behavior. This force impacts every facet of our lives, from our relationships and finances to our bodies and brains. What is this force that is controlling you even now, and will continue to do so for the rest of your life? Pain and pleasure. Everything you and I do, we do either out of our need to avoid pain or our desire to gain pleasure. Lesson 2, the moment when the pain becomes our friend. In this book is written that, often an interesting question comes up in discussions about these twin powers that drive us. Why is it that people can experience pain yet fail to change? They haven't experienced enough pain yet. They haven't hit what I call emotional threshold. If you've ever been in a destructive relationship and finally made the decision to use your personal power, take action and change your life, it was probably because you hit a level of pain you weren't willing to settle for anymore. We've all experienced those times in our lives when we've said, I've had it, never again, this must change now. This is the magical moment when pain becomes our friend. It drives us to take new action and produce new results. We become even more powerfully compelled to act if, in that same moment, we begin to anticipate how changing will create a great deal of pleasure for our lives as well. This process is certainly not limited to relationships. Maybe you've experienced threshold with your physical condition. You finally got fed up because you couldn't squeeze into an airline seat, you couldn't fit into your clothes, and walking up a set of stairs winded you. Finally you said, I've had it. And made a decision. What motivated that decision? It was the desire to remove pain from your life and establish pleasure once again, the pleasure of pride, the pleasure of comfort, the pleasure of self-esteem, the pleasure of living life the way you've designed it. Lesson 3, How to Use Pain and Pleasure. In this book is written that, many times we try to override the system. For a while we stick to a diet, we've finally pushed ourselves over the edge because we have so much pain. We will have solved the problem for the moment, but if we haven't eliminated the cause of the problem, it will resurface. Ultimately, for a change to last, we must link pain to our old behavior and pleasure to our new behavior, and condition it until it's consistent. Remember, we will all do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. Going on a diet and overriding our pain in the short term by pure willpower never lasts simply because we still link pain to giving up fattening foods. For this change to be long-term, we've got to link pain to eating those foods so that we no longer even desire them, and pleasure to eat more of the foods that nourish us. People who are fit and healthy believe that nothing tastes as good as thin feels. And they love foods that nourish them. In fact, they often link pleasure to pushing the plate away with food still on it. It symbolizes to them that they're in control of their lives. The truth is that we can learn to condition our minds, bodies, and emotions to link pain or pleasure to whatever we choose. By changing what we link pain and pleasure to, we will instantly change our behaviors. Lesson 4, Make some changes right now. In this book is written that, first, write down 4 actions that you need to take that you've been putting off. Maybe you need to lose some weight. Maybe you need to stop smoking. Maybe you need to communicate with someone you've had a falling out with, or reconnect with someone who's important to you. Second, under each of these actions, write down the answer to the following questions. Why haven't I taken action? In the past, what pain have I linked to taking this action? Answering these questions will help you understand that what has held you back is that you've associated greater pain to taking the action than to not taking it. Be honest with yourself. If you're thinking, I have no pain associated to it, think a little harder. Maybe the pain is simple. Maybe it's the pain of taking time out of your busy schedule. Third, write down all the pleasure you've had in the past by indulging in this negative pattern. For example, if you think you should lose some weight, why have you continued to eat whole pans of brownies and bulk-size bags of chips, and to guzzle 12 packs of soda pop? You're avoiding the pain of depriving yourself, yes, and at the same time you're really doing this because it makes you feel good right now. It gives you pleasure. Instant pleasure. No one wants to give up these feelings. In order to create a change that will last, we need to find a new way to get the same pleasure without any negative consequences. Identifying the pleasure you've been getting will help you know what your target is. Fourth, write down what it will cost you if you don't change now. What will happen if you don't stop eating so much sugar and fat? If you don't stop smoking? If you don't make that phone call that you know you need to make? If you don't start consistently working out each day? Be honest with yourself. What's it going to cost you over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? The final step is to write down all the pleasure you'll receive by taking each of these actions right now. Make a huge list that will drive you emotionally, that will really get you excited. I'll gain the feeling of really being in control of my life, of knowing that I'm in charge. I'll gain a new level of self-confidence. I'll gain physical vitality and health. I'll be able to strengthen all my relationships. I'll develop more willpower which I could use in every other area of my life. My life will be better in all these ways, now. Over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. By taking this action, I will live my dream. Envision all the positive impacts both in the present and in the long term. What are the best things to remember from this? 1. Everything we do either because we want to avoid pain or because we want to gain pleasure. 2. Pain drives us to take new action and produce new results. And 3. We will all do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. Well, our list ends here. Let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts about our list. Thank you for watching until the end, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell button to be notified for every new learning opportunity. And always remember, man of word, be aware of the person that you can become.